Good evening, everyone. Please welcome to the stage APOR's Conference Chair, Allison Holbrook.
Wow. I don't know if I'm cool enough for that music, I have to be honest. So welcome, and thank you all again for attending this year's conference. We hope that everyone is having an excellent time and enjoying the collaborative spirit that has permeated the conference thus far. While I have your attention, I'd like to invite you all to St. Louis for APOR's 80th Annual Conference, May 14th through the 16th, 2025. All questions regarding the conference can be directed to Gina Waleko, who's sitting right down there. This will be a joint conference with WAPOR and our first since 2019 in Toronto. We'll be disseminating more information about next year's conference in the coming months. Before we begin recognizing our 2024 awardees, I want to share news about this year's fund run. Woohoo, yeah. So for those of us who were up at 6 a.m. running, yeah, okay. We had 13 sponsored runners in this year's fund run. They were up not so bright, but early today, not only to get their blood pumping, but also to raise money for a good cause. And this is the first year that we have combined the fund run with APOR Gives Back. The real winner here is Atlanta's Midtown Assistance Center, who will be receiving $9,229.20. But we also want to acknowledge these amazing participants. So Jonathan Katz for the most laps, for men's winner, 65 laps. Lindsay Hendren, the women's winner, with 65 laps. For the most money raised, we'd like to recognize Craig Helmstetter for raising $266.50. And then our superstar money raiser, Cameron McPhee, for raising $1,161. So congratulations to everybody. And congratulations to APOR for giving back to this organization that does so much for the Atlanta community. The History Subcommittee once again held their annual song contest. They asked APOR members to write and record APOR or public opinion themed songs sung to the tune of, for a chance to be recognized at the conference. We received 5 excellent songs, and after careful consideration, the winner is Lynn Matthews, Are You the Very Model of a Survey Methodologist? So we're going to hear that now.
Are you a total surveyor, premature apologist who knows past able precedents and gold standards historical for best surveying practices in order categorical? Perhaps your samples are complex with weighting mathematical and use a multimodal plan for reasons quite pragmatical, with instruments pre-tested with enough cognitive interviews. You may obtain new insights that are featured on the daily news.
You may obtain new insights that are featured on the daily news. You may obtain new insights that are featured on the daily news. You may obtain new insights that are featured on the daily news.
Perhaps you're good at status asset, SVSS, or NR. Your syntax clean and documented, so it always sets the bar. If you're an APOR weather sampling expert or psychologist, you may just be the model of a survey methodologist.
If you're an APOR weather sampling expert or psychologist, you may just be the model of a survey methodologist.
Perhaps your Turanda rips and Brzezinski copies worn right through, interpreting, retrieving, judging, and responding's what you do. You know it used to great effect each Gricean conversational norm and craft your questionnaire so well they could be called their own art form. Or maybe you're an interviewer or a census analyst, or run experimental tests, or an online panelist. Professors, teachers, experts, watch the list of APOR members grow. For in their work, the care about best practices will always show.
For in their work, the care about best practices will always show, for in their work they care about best practices will always show, for in their work they care about best practices will always show.
From poli-sci to marketing, from stats to sociology, let's celebrate each A4 member's field without apology. For if you are an A4, even if you're a zoologist, you still could be the model of a survey methodologist.
For if you are an ape, or even if you're a zoologist, you still could be the model of a survey methodologist.
I think you can all agree that that was amazing. I think that is the best. I mean, you know, Paul, we're still calling. You have some competition right there. Yeah, I know. Okay. So A4 honorary lifetime members, or HLMs, have been members for at least 25 years, have reached age 65, and have retired from full-time work. Would honorary lifetime members please stand or wave? Hopefully you've had a chance to see some of their accomplishment slides scrolling through the conference. And we're so grateful to have these members and their experiences at APOR. The APOR Award for Distinguished Lifetime Achievement is the highest honor that APOR bestows. Before we acknowledge the past winners of this award who are with us tonight, I'm going to ask you some trivia questions about past APOR Award winners. So I'm going to ask you to put down your phones and answer these questions only based on your knowledge prior to this quiz, because we want this to be a valid measure of your APOR winner knowledge. You can collaborate with those at your table, but if you are a past award winner and the question is about you, maybe you should keep that to yourself. Okay, so we're going to start out with some historical trivia. First, when was the first APOR award given? Was it in 1960, 1962, 1964, or 1966? And this is the audience participation portion of the evening, so if you know the answer, please shout it out. Does anybody know the answer? Anybody? All right. 1962 is the correct answer. Woohoo! All right, so also keep track of your knowledge, because you know this is going to be an important indicator. You're going to have to put on your badge for next year. So that might have been too easy for those of you who were there for that first APOR award presentation to Angus Campbell. So my next question is, which past award winner was not a person? Was it the Gallup Organization, Literary Digest, the Roper Public Opinion Research Center, or the New York Times? What do you think? So those all seem like possibilities, maybe not Literary Digest. All right, so that's right, I heard somebody yell it out. It's the Roper Public Opinion Research Center. All right. And that was in 1969, when the Roper Public Opinion Research Center was at Williams College at the time, which I did not know before writing these questions. Okay, now a question about APOR award winners and their volunteer activities. We've had a lot of discussion about volunteering, and we know the volunteers are really important. Which APOR award winner's first APOR volunteer position was bringing the supplies for the Applied Probability Seminar? Was it Nancy Mathewitz, Tim Johnson, Peter Miller, or Paul Lavrakis? Uh-oh. We have some gamblers in the audience who have attended the Applied Probability Seminar. So some of you may know that it was Paul Lavrakis who was first recruited as an APOR volunteer to provide this important service. And APOR continues to rely on the important work of dozens of volunteers. You can sign up to volunteer on APOR's website or stop by the APOR booth in the exhibit hall to find out more. All right, now for some questions about more recent APOR award-winning history. In this century, since 2000, how many women have won the APOR award? Is it 1, 3, 5, or 7? And Molly Ann Brody, you are not allowed to answer. What do people think? Okay. All right, I hear the answer. That is right. It is only 3, but it could be 4 as of later this evening. We will have to wait and find out. Yeah, I don't know whether to boo or cheer that one, honestly. Okay. The next one will make any of us who have ever made a mistake feel better about our future prospects. Which 2 pollsters incorrectly predicted that Dewey would defeat Truman in 1948 and then went on to win the APOR award? Was it Philip Converse and Rensis Likert, Archibald Crosley and George Gallup, Scott Keeter and Kathleen Frankovic, or Warren Matofsky and Andrew Kohut? What do people think? All right. If you guessed Archibald Crosley and George Gallup, you would be correct. So even great people don't get it right all the time. Final question, and this one is tough. Which of the following articles were authored or co-authored by APOR award winners? Was it Methods of Characterizing the Distribution of Exhaust Emissions from Light-Duty Gasoline-Powered Motor Vehicles in the U.S. Fleet? Collaboration and the Quality of Research? Understanding and Appreciating Metaphors? Or Survey Design Options for the Measurement of Persons with Work Disabilities? Any guesses? All of So that one was tough and a bit of a trick question. I'm a professor, so I like to throw these in there. All of those articles were authored by APOR award winners. That's right. So that is all the trivia we have for you tonight. If you want to learn more about the history of APOR, including the APOR Award, the History Subcommittee has a table in the exhibit hall where you can find out more about APOR and its history. So now that we've tested your APOR knowledge, I'd like to invite all previous APOR awardees to stand or wave so that we can thank you again for your contributions. All right. So welcome again to the banquet, and please enjoy your meals, and we will reconvene at 7:35 for the rest of the awards.
Swell. Stand by for stage lights. With any VOG, stage lights will go, okay? And we are at graphics 1, correct? Stand by for graphics 1, going to captions. Music swell. Music swell go. And VOG. Music fade go. Good evening, everyone. Please welcome to the stage APOR's president, Jennifer Agesta, to the stage.
Hello, hello. Welcome again. I hope you all enjoyed your meal. We are so happy to be meeting and working together at this year's conference. But APOR would not be where it is today without the significant efforts of those who came before us. At this time, we would like to direct your attention to the screen so we can remember the dear colleagues that we have lost over the last year. Thank you. Now, we want to acknowledge the Burns Bud Roper Fellow Award winners, the Student Faculty Diversity Pipeline Award winners, the APOR Experience Program participants, and the Student Conference Award winners. Will the winners of these awards please stand where you are to be recognized, and let's give them all a round of applause. Fantastic work, all of you, thanks. Now I am delighted to express my gratitude towards your APOR staff and leadership team. First, I would like to recognize APOR's dedicated staff, who are hopefully enjoying dinner around the room. Thank you for your excellent work on the annual conference and all other things APOR. And of course, let's thank our 2023-2024 Executive Council. So glad to have these incredible, dedicated, hardworking individuals. Next, I have the pleasure of welcoming our newly elected counselors. These individuals will be serving the association for 2-year terms, beginning immediately. Let's get to work, guys. In addition to the APOR Executive Council, we have over 300 other volunteers who serve APOR throughout the year. If you are an APOR volunteer, please stand so we can recognize you. Thank you all. To all of the committees, subcommittees, ad hoc committees, task forces, and working groups, thank you all for your dedication to APOR. I now have the distinct pleasure of thanking our 2024 conference chair, Allison Holbrook, and our associate chair, Gina Waleka. Will you both join me on the stage? Okay, two things stand out about Allison that are reflected in this conference. First, Allison is dedicated to APOR and its mission. She has given so much of one of her most precious resources, time, to APOR over the past few years. In addition to conference chair, a huge task on its own, she also signed on for another 4 years as Public Opinion Quarterly co-editor-in-chief. Great job, Allison. Second, Allison is a person who cares deeply about her colleagues and her community. This is reflected in the conference theme, impacting communities, surveys, public opinion research, and engaged scholarship, as well as the thought-provoking plenary we're all going to hear tomorrow. It's also apparent from the pre-conference idea groups that she designed to bring together folks to discuss topics in a more intimate, small group setting. Through her service, interactions with council members, and conference vision, it's apparent that Allison wants us all to connect, to come together, and to experience the APOR that she has devoted so much time to over the years. Thank you, Allison. Gina worked behind the scenes to partner closely with Allison, planning this incredible conference, and I can't wait to see her work next year in St. Louis. Thank you, Gina. I would also be remiss not to recognize the incredible efforts of our conference sponsorship subcommittee, chaired once again by Darby Steiger. Under Darby's leadership, we've had our highest 2 years of sponsorship amounts in APOR history. Let's give her a round of applause for her tremendous effort and her continued dedication to APOR. Darby, come on up. I'd like to make a few more special recognitions before we move on to our awards. As you know, APOR journals are an integral part of our association. I want to take a moment to recognize the 4 editors-in-chief that will be completing their terms this summer. They've worked tirelessly over the last 4 years, and some even longer. Kristen, Jenny, Eric, and Allison, will you please join me on stage? Wait. You guys gotta stand there while I talk about you. For JAZAM, thank you to Kristen Olson and Jenny Thompson. Kristen has served on the survey methodology side for 4 years, while Jenny has served on the statistics side for 3 years. Stepping into their very large shoes will be Brad Edwards and Emily Berg. And for POQ, thank you to Eric Plutzer and Allison Holbrook. This was Eric's second term as editor-in-chief, and Allison will now begin her second term with Phil Jones as her co-editor-in-chief. Thank you again, and best of luck to our new editors. Let's give them all a round of applause. And now let's move on to this year's awards. I now invite Gina Waleko to start the award presentations with the Sudman Student Paper Award.
I would like to extend our congratulations to the 2024 Seymour Sudman Student Paper Award winner, Jonathan Mendelson, for the paper Optimal Allocation Under Anticipated Non-Response. Jonathan, are you here? Can you please join me on the stage? Jonathan recently finished his PhD at the University of Maryland, and he currently works at the Bureau of Labor Statistics. I'd also like to acknowledge this year's honorable mention for the Sudman Student Paper Competition, Marco Avina from Harvard University for the paper Perceived Economic Contributions, Increased Support for Immigration Reform. Congratulations, Marco. Can you please stand if you are present? So each year, APOR hosts a student paper competition. This year, we had several strong student posters under consideration. A panel of 8 judges, including 5 honorary life members, carefully evaluated each of the posters in this competition. In the end, one clear winner was identified. Drum roll, I don't think the person knows they've won. I'd like to extend my congratulations to George Quinn from Rutgers University for presenting Evaluating AI Structured Topic Modeling for Code-in Open-Ended Responses. We've already given George a round of applause. Come up here and get your picture taken.
Thank you so much.
And I now invite Renee Bautista to the stage to present the APOR Book Award.
Thank you, Gina. Good evening. The APOR Book Award was established to recognize influential books that have stimulated theoretical and scientific research in public opinion or influence of our understanding or application of certain research methodology. It is my pleasure to present the award to Peter K. Enns for Incarceration Nation. Peter, if you're in the room, can you join me on stage? So good to see you. Congratulations. Well deserved. This is yours. Let's get the picture and then I'll read the citation here. The American Association for Public Opinion Research presents the 2004 Book Award for Incarceration Nation by Peter Enns, professor in the Department of Government and the Brooks School of Public Policy at Cornell University and the Robert S. Harrison Director of the Cornell Center for Social Sciences. The book finds its unique contribution at the intersection of public opinion and policymaking, relying on an innovative application of methodological and statistical techniques in social sciences. Focused on judicial decision-making, criminal justice reform, and democracy, the book analyzes decades' worth of survey data to illuminate our understanding of the rise of mass incarceration. The prevailing theory of the rise of mass incarceration saw it primarily driven by top-down elite police influence, but the book challenges this narrative with a compelling critique. Based on rigorous analysis of survey data, the Dr. Dance's work offers an alternative explanation. The increase in mass incarceration is mostly due to an increase in punitive public. The book has demonstrated influence in scholarly research, and it has been cited over 330 times and reviews in prominent scientific journals. For the novel approach and original insights into the public policy and policy processes that impact the lives of millions of people and their families, we are proud to recognize Professor Peter Ence's 2016 book, Incarceration Nation. Congratulations, Peter. Our next award this evening will be the Policy Impact Award, and I would like to invite Alisu Shua Glonsberg to the stage for the announcement.
The Policy Impact Award recognizes outstanding research that has had a clear impact on improving policy decisions, practice, or discourse, either in the public or private sectors. The 2024 Policy Impact Award is presented to the American National Election Studies. To accept this award, we welcome Sunshine Hilligos from Duke University and John Krosnick from Stanford University to join me on stage. I also invite the others involved in this project to stand for recognition. The American Association for Public Opinion Research recognizes the American National Election Studies, ANS, as the longest running and most widely used and cited time series of public opinion and voting behavior data in the world. ANS is a collaboration of the University of Michigan and Stanford University with Duke University and the University of Texas. Funded by the National Science Foundation, the study is a unique 75-year time series of nationally representative public opinion surveys conducted before and after every presidential election since 1948 and after most off-year congressional elections 1958 through 2006, using area or address-based probability sampling and primarily face-to-face interviews. For decades, ANS has been the leading source of data on public opinion in electoral politics. It collects high-quality data on opinion and behavior that inform policy discourse and allow evaluation of the functioning of democracy. Nearly all leading issues of national policy in the United States since the 1950s are addressed by the study, including especially racial inequality, economic inequality, social capital, campaign finance, voter ID laws, and attitudes and opinions about government institutions. For making public opinion available to policymakers informing public discourse, and allowing evaluation of the functioning of democracy, the 2024 APOR Impact Award is given to the research teams of the American National Election Studies. And thank you to the recipients. I had them exit the podium too soon, but our next award this evening will be the Mitofsky Innovators Award. I'd like to invite Liz Hamill to the stage.
The Warren J. Mitofsky Innovators Award recognizes accomplishments in the fields of public opinion and survey research that occurred in the last 10 years or that had their primary impact on the field during the last decade. The 2024 Warren J. Mitofsky Innovators Award goes to Dana Thompson for designing and implementing gridded population surveys. Can I invite Dr. Dana Thompson to the stage? Okay. My script has me read the award before I give it to her, so I'm going to do that now. Dr. Dana Thompson, you can come on up. Dr. Dana Thompson is a pioneer in the field of gridded population sampling, including development of several tools and publication of the go-to manual, designing and implementing gridded population surveys. By relying on minimal informational resources available in less developed countries and what accessible technologies can offer, Dr. Thompson has established an impressive method for designing and implementing representative samples where complete sampling frames for households are unavailable. This methodology offers a practical and scalable solution for researchers seeking to more accurately measure populations in data-scarce settings, especially vulnerable and mobile populations who are poorly represented by traditional data collection methods. For her pioneering work in developing new tools for the creation and implementation of gridded sampling frames and the impact of this work on improving population measurement in lower and middle income countries, APOR is honored to give the 2024 Warren J. Mitofsky Innovators Award to Dr. Dana Thompson. Up next is the APOR Inclusive Voices Award. I'd like to ask Sung-Hee Lee to come to the stage, please.
Thank you. I'm presenting this award on behalf of the award committee chair, Anna Sandova, who couldn't make it tonight. This award recognizes the important data sets, research, and survey methods that have improved the ability to study complex social phenomena related to underserved populations. The 2024 APOR Inclusive Voices Award goes to UCLA Center for Health Policy Research, the California Health Interview Survey, CHIS. Accepting this award on behalf of the CHIS is, please welcome Dr. Nines Ponce and Todd Hughes to the stage. And I also invite those who are on this project to stand for the recognition. Since 2001, the California Health Interview Survey, CHIS, has led the population survey field in equity-centered population health data. CHIS is the largest population-based state health survey in the United States. For more than 2 decades, it has served as an exemplar that demonstrates a long-standing commitment to achieve health equity through data equity. CHIS serves as a national model for the best practices in collecting data on race and ethnicity, sexual orientation and gender identity, and immigration status, as well as the inclusion of underrepresented population subgroups. CHIS is a mixed-mode survey that uses an address-based sampling frame, making it representative of California's population. The survey is an example of the ways that general population survey can be designed to include the voices of those who are undercounted or underrepresented. In recognition of this work that has advanced our knowledge of the methodological work to achieve data equity and the high-quality procedures used to collect data since 2001, APOR is proud to award 2024 Inclusive Voices Award to California Health Interview Survey at the UCLA Center for Health Policy Research. Our next award for the evening is the Public Service Award. I would like to invite Sarah Dipko to the stage.
The APOR Public Service Award is presented to, hold on one moment, is intended to recognize and honor outstanding public service and dedication to maintaining APOR standards. It recognizes persons who work on behalf of the public sector and have contributed to the quality of government surveys, data systems, research, leadership, and/or policy. This is very exciting to announce this. The 2024 APOR Public Service Award goes to Brian Harris Coteen. Hi. I have a lot to say about you, so stay up here. Oh, no, it's fine. Let me find your award. Let's see. Yes, that would be you. Now I'm going to read this first. So hang on. It's okay. APOR presents the 2024 Public Service Award to Brian Harris Coteen to honor his unparalleled leadership of, mentorship within, and devotion to the United States federal statistical system, as well as his involvement in and contributions to the national APOR community and the Washington-Baltimore chapter of APOR, otherwise known as DC APOR, at the local level. There's more. Dr. Harris Coteen's leadership and scientific contributions to federal statistics and survey research methods have encouraged and empowered federal statistical agencies to identify and address a variety of sources of total survey error. He has overseen and led the publication of guidance on statistical standards, survey non-response, measuring race and ethnicity, protecting privacy while combining data sources, and innovations in federal statistics. Dr. Harris Coteen genuinely cares about the information collected and the people who collect it. He is also honest and a tireless fighter. He is a strong leader and a good listener who inspires others to rise and exceed all expectations. Throughout his career, he has demonstrated that the work we do each day matters, and doing it right is important. His example is one of dedication and hard work, and he reminds all of us not only of why survey research is important, but also why we are an important part of survey research. Okay, the next award will be the Sirkin Award, presented by Greg Holick. Thank you.
Sorry, nobody told me we were supposed to dress up tonight. All right. Okay, the Monroe-Sirkin Award is for interdisciplinary survey research methods is given annually to the distinguished survey researcher for contributions to interdisciplinary survey research that improve the theory and methods of collecting, verifying, processing, presenting, or analyzing survey data. And this year's winner is Michael Elliott. So Michael was able to give his lecture yesterday morning, but is attending 2 conferences at the same time, so was unable to be here tonight. But let me just say a few words about him. Michael has made exceptional contributions to the field of survey methodology in his more than 20-year career to date. This includes calibration of probability and non-probability samples, techniques for combining multiple survey data sources, measurement of interviewer variance within the total survey error framework, and weighting and imputation of survey data. His work has almost 9,000 citations and is truly interdisciplinary in scope and applications, with major impacts ranging from the US Census Bureau that's applied his work to applications in transportation safety. So in addition to his own research contributions, Michael has made major contributions to the field through training the next generation of survey methodologists and editing the Journal of Survey Statistics and the Journal of Official Statistics. So like I said, Michael unfortunately couldn't join us at the banquet tonight, but please let's have a round of applause for him. And I may or may not actually give him the plaque. I may keep it, we'll see. Okay, so let's turn to things back to Jen for the moment you've all been waiting for, the final award.
So exciting. I love doing this. Okay, the APOR Award for Exceptionally Distinguished Achievement, the association's highest honor, recognizes lifetime achievement and outstanding contributions to the field of public opinion research. I'd like to thank all of the members of this year's APOR Award Committee: Larry Bobo, Anna Sandoval-Guerin, Yevgenia Kapasuz, John McHenry, and Kristen Olson.
I may be the first person ever to be the child of someone who already got this award. My father was an early public opinion pollster who started something called the Texas Poll and had a market research firm in Dallas. And I grew up coding questionnaires and training interviewers and interviewing and editing questionnaires when they came back from the field. So it's in my blood. The first 10 years after graduate school, I had worked in a bunch of campaigns. I had worked in women's issues and a commission on the status of women in California. I'd worked in the legislature there. I had been on a lot of little campaigns. And I decided at one point that since I had grown up knowing something about polling, I'd like to try my hand at it. I started just being a one-person operation doing some polling for a couple of contacts I had. And John was doing campaign work and being a speechwriter, and I started getting him to write reports for me. And that is how it started. And then I slowly dragged him into actually doing research with me. We put his writing skill, what I knew about polling, together and formed this partnership that became Belden Rusnello. We pretty early on decided that we were only going to work for organizations and individuals with whom we agreed, that we liked, that we wanted to work for. We worked for all manner of environmental groups and civil liberties and women's rights and reproductive choice, and it was extremely gratifying. We have a job to do, and that is to find out what people believe, what they think, how they view issues and the things that are confronting all of us. We need to be truthful. We need to reflect what people truly are telling us. We need to apply it in a way that is helpful rather than harmful. As open as we are and as available as membership in our association is, APOR really doesn't attract people from a lot of different practitioner groups, or from all of them. And this lack of diversity matters because the variety of our membership is what really allows us to learn from each other and to meet our responsibilities to do our best work, to stretch our thinking and consider new ideas and methods, and even to weigh the consequences of our work. So I've talked about APOR needing to be a big tent. And a lot of that is personal. My practice and the practice in the firm that we ran was built on experience and that we gained as we went, and on, to some degree, on relying on other APORians to help us along the way to learn something that we needed to know here and there. So I think it's important that APOR welcome all kinds of practitioners. Along the way, by virtue of being on council, I had a lot of good experiences, and I think I participated in the creation of some important things.
I think Nancy served on 9 different executive councils over the years, of course, including her term of president, which was a time of profound organizational change for us and accomplishment. She was a founding member of APOR's Journalist Education Project that ran for probably a decade, training news organizations how polling's done, how to tell a good poll from a bad poll. She is also the sole mother of APOR's Innovator Award. And I looked it up. It's now in its 24th year. Nancy thought it was very important for us to celebrate innovation and change in methods and public opinion. And it has been an award that's with us now a quarter century. Personally, I can't think of anybody who's done more for APOR than Nancy Belden over a long period of time. And I've been involved in the organization for over 40 years now. I think the association is very much in her debt.
To the academics, my message is, we need you. To those of you working in government and media research, we need you. To those of you in marketing, research, and political polling, and everybody else who might be doing things a little bit differently, we need you too. Because APOR is the place to air differences and to give new ideas a chance to breathe. My hope is for all of us to come back next year and the years after that and find that APOR's tent is a little bit bigger, that APOR's membership is a little bit more diverse, and APOR's voice is saying to all who do this work, there is a meeting place for all of you. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to give you the back. Well, actually, keep my back. Johnny. Okay. I'm gonna read the citation for Nancy. Nancy Belden's lifetime of leadership, service, and mentorship have shaped APOR and the practice of public opinion research for decades. Throughout her career, Nancy has successfully run a small business, served as a visionary leader within APOR and at the Roper Center, mentored survey researchers who soared within the field and launched their own small businesses, and promoted a better understanding of survey research, all while maintaining a commitment to the highest standards. For nearly 40 years, Nancy's firm, Belden Rusinello Strategists, provided methodologically rigorous research to domestic and international clients in a segment of the survey research industry where solid methods are not always the first priority. Her work served major foundations nonprofit organizations, campaigns, news media, and others. And Nancy consistently promoted a better understanding of both quantitative and qualitative research methods and their findings among her clients, members of the media, and policymakers. Nancy's service to APOR is without compare. Over multiple decades, Nancy is the APOR leader who has moved the association to its next phase of growth and professionalism. Her presidency came at a touchstone moment for the field and for APOR. As president, she set roles and responsibilities for counselors and catalyzed long-term planning for the organization. Her work ably led the association toward growth and embrace of innovation, and importantly, professionalization. More recently, her guidance eased APOR's shift to self-management, helping the transition team shape the future of APOR and build a strong foundation for the association's next phase. Her leadership has pushed APOR to better serve the field while maintaining its core identity as a meeting place. Nancy has served as a role model for so many APOR members, those who've worked for and with her, as well as those who have admired her from afar. Dozens of former staff members that Nancy has mentored, having learned all facets of survey research in her shop, have gone on to successful careers, including several who have formed their own thriving research firms. Many credit her with showing them the value of APOR and of service to APOR. To quote a colleague of Nancy's, "If only there were more Nancy Beldens at our sides, demanding excellence, encouraging us to do better, insisting that we be at the top of our games. She is the archetype of what a survey researcher should be." For all of her extraordinary contributions to public opinion and survey research, the American Association for Public Opinion Research is pleased to present the 2024 APOR Award for Exceptionally Distinguished Achievement to Nancy Jane Belden.
We do this first, or we do the picture?
The plaques are just a challenge.
I didn't know that was my theme song. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, award committee. Thank you, everybody. I was very surprised and honored to be selected for this award. I just want to say a few words about APOR and about love. I have 8 things I'm going to tell you about love. I loved being the daughter of a polling pioneer in the 1950s and 60s, when polling was rare and sort of odd and fascinating thing to people, very different than today. I loved APOR from way back, when it was small and intimate, and I love that it now is big and noisy and still full of a sense of adventure and exploration, and still a meeting place for all sorts of people and practitioners. I loved being on APOR Council and on lots of committees, making lifelong friends and helping expand the professionalism of the operations of the organization at various stages along the way, pushing journalists to use research appropriately, establishing various awards, and especially encouraging APOR to be this big tent that I think it is. That tent that takes real advantage of the diversity and creativity of researchers across the country and across the world. I loved having the freedom and optimism of youth at one point, some time ago, to pick up and simply try to do this profession on my own, and try my hand at surveys and focus groups and all the other component parts that go into it. I love the mentors, many of whom were in APOR at one point or another, and some of whom are still here, and some of who have gone along the way. But I've loved the mentors who helped and encouraged me and people in my firm. I've loved having John Rusinello as my partner, something that freed me to have it all, including a successful business as well as a wonderful son and a home. There's no way in hell that I could have done this without John, without his help. So, also John. I also loved that John and I were able to choose to devote our professional lives and our professional work to causes that, all kinds of things, from reproductive justice to biodiversity to civil liberties, human rights, you name it, we probably worked on it. I hope that our research and our council over the years contributed to better public policies and to more persuasive communications that have helped important societal needs. I have loved how APOR supported our firm by pushing us to learn and grow, and as welcoming as it has been to those like us who were outside academia and government. And finally, I have to say that I have really loved the young women and men who have worked in our firm from all the past years. Some people, and some of them are in this room, have worked with us for a summer. Some have worked for several years, and some, like Kate, worked with us for many years. Because we decided to remain a small shop, young researchers and wannabes who worked for us took the opportunity to learn, to develop research skills at BRS, at our firm, and I'm so very pleased that how many of them have grown into such success stories, from owning their own companies to being the leaders in some very high profile media outlets. Success stories of their own, from Jen, the Kates, the Lisas, Tressa, Melissa, Emma, Christina, Chris, Peyton, and others that I'm sure I have not mentioned. Big jobs in media, major research organizations, owners of their own firms, and even running for office. So all we did for those young people was open the door. I am so pleased and honored that we had a small role in kickstarting some of those careers and love for this field. I'm still sort of astonished that I'm the person receiving this award, and I hope it is emblematic of the fact that many different, very different APOR members and pollsters outside of APOR contribute every day to society in ways that matter. In healthcare, elections, money markets, travel, research of all kinds, you name it. They come to their work from many, many, many different angles, as we did. And it's a very good thing. So thank you for recognizing the strength and diversity. I'm honored and delighted, and I thank you, and I love APOR.
Okay, thank you all. Nancy's going to have to come back up here because I've been told to ask any APOR past presidents who happen to be in the room and the incoming ones, please come up for a photo before we leave. Thank you all for coming this evening. And please join us at the all-chapter party immediately after this event. The party will be at Max Lager's Grill and Brewery, just a short walk from the hotel. Congratulations to all of tonight's award winners. Presidents, come on up.